4 easy, low-cost prospecting techniques as you hit the ground running. Greetings, everyone. My name is Rob Baker with Matthews Cemetery Products, and today I am excited and privileged to bring my fellow cemetery professionals one piece in a two-part series that I call Hit the Ground Running, Sales After the Lockdown. This segment of the two-part series is entitled 4 Easy, Low-Cost Prospecting Techniques as you hit the ground running. And it deals with prospecting and lead generation techniques that you'll want to utilize as we pull away from this pandemic. The other chapter in this series, which I am also proud to bring you, is 6 Simple Planning Steps to Help You Hit the Ground Running, which focuses on the planning and strategy aspect of leaving this pandemic behind us and preparing for cemetery sales going forward. So let's get started with 4 easy, low-cost prospecting techniques as you hit the ground running. There really is no reinventing the wheel when it comes to pre-need sales. All we can do is take that old wheel, polish it up, and give it new hubcaps. We need prospects, people willing to talk to us about pre-need planning. That will never change. What we can change, however, is how we gather those prospects. Here are 4 easy to implement, low-cost techniques to help you get more prospects while maintaining some required social distancing. 1. Prepare the entire staff to assist the sales process. Now, this seems like a no-brainer, but how well is our entire staff trained to capture leads and prospects? Let's take a look at 2 segments of our staff, those who will most readily come into contact with prospects as our cemeteries reopen, and how they can reap us great prospecting benefits: the grounds crew and the front office staff. The grounds crew is probably the most visible staff you will have as visitors flock to cemeteries after the lockdown. They are trained in landscaping and burial services, but what sales training do you provide them? If their typical response to a question is, "I don't know, you'll have to go to the office for that," then you are missing out big time. In fact, you may be putting off customers as they might hear it as, "That's not my job, ask somebody else." Many families consider that a non-answer and just won't go to the office. Why not empower this crew to be more customer service oriented? Do they know the sales staff and who is on duty? Do they have the ability to call into the office without being put on hold? Do they carry a general information card in their pocket or a brochure in their truck? Can they fill out a work order on the spot? Do they have the ability to record a name, phone number, and email address? Empowering the grounds crew can make an incredible impression on visitors and lead to more sales. And what about the front office staff? Are they in a position to help or hinder prospecting and overall sales? It used to irk me when a customer called looking for preliminary info and the call wasn't immediately transferred to the sales department. It would irk me further whenever I heard, "Our graves start at 600 and go up from there," instead of, "Oh, we still have some beautiful lakeside graves available, as well as some other options around the cemetery to fit every family's needs." To sum it up, with proper training and procedures, everyone can play a role in nurturing prospects and setting the sales staff and your cemetery up for success. Another thing we can do is to utilize an at-need kit. Let me repeat that. Utilize an at-need kit. Almost every cemetery sales organization has a pre-need kit to help turn prospects into pre-need sales. But do you utilize an at-need kit to help cultivate prospects from at-need situations? During my time as a cemeterian, I began to give every at-need family our at-need kit, and it often generated the results we were looking for. The kit was simply a neatly organized folder that contained our business card, an envelope with the completed burial paperwork, our rules and regulations, materials on handling grief, and a number of at-need prospecting cards. At-need prospecting cards were simply postcard-sized materials that had our name and a picture of the cemetery on the front. On the back of the card was something like this. Set upon dozens of acres with winding roads, cemeteries can often seem confusing and overwhelming, especially when we are grieving the loss of a loved one. To make things easier, please note that your loved one, blank, is laid to rest in the following section. In the following location, section blank, row blank, grave blank. As a courtesy, we have placed a limited number of burial spaces near this on reserve for the next 30 days. Should any family members wish to arrange to secure one of these spaces, simply have them notify me at blank. And there you could add a phone number or email address, name. We would place between 4 and 10 of these cards in the folder and let the family know exactly what the card was and to tell them to pass it along to family members. That's right. In kind, sensitive words, we would let the family know that it was okay to get confused in a cemetery and that more space could be purchased. The response was often impressive. This technique can pertain to our current situation in 2 ways. The at-need kit can be given to families coming in who may have had a death during the pandemic but have waited until now to have a burial service. We can also give an abbreviated form of the kit, business card, grief material, and at-need prospecting cards, to families who come in and need help in locating that grave because they only saw it one time, and that was during the pandemic. Another thing we can do is this. Brochure posts in cemeteries. During the pandemic, many cemeteries restricted their hours or were even closed to visitors. Most families had very small graveside service if they had them at all. Expect an increase of visitors to your cemetery. One way to capitalize on this is to place low-cost brochure holders throughout the cemetery. When I first started doing this, I did this as inexpensively as possible and to incredible results. I bought covered, weather-resistant brochure holders in quantity online for about $5 each. I then bought 2x4s for the post and plywood for the base. Just like this. Something I just threw together in about 5 minutes yesterday. I also got stain at Home Depot and the hardware at Home Depot. I drilled 4 6-inch screws downward through the base of each post to grab the ground and provide stability. The brochure holder went here. A small sign that said cemetery info went here. Not only did those nails digging into the ground provide stability, but I was able to pull it up. It gave me the ability to move these posts daily. I could place some in areas where I knew we were having burials today and then move them to tomorrow burial locations. I would move and relocate other posts based upon whether they were being visited and brochures were being removed. A quick tip, keeping track of post location and activity is key to ensuring good results. Another thing we can do, item 4, be a force in the community. It seems to me that some cemeteries are experts at this, while other cemeteries, most cemeteries in my opinion, neglect this practice. How often is a member of the sales staff attending a Chamber of Commerce event? How often is your sales team presenting on peace of mind, the pre-planning process, and decisions we all must make at your local library or community senior center? When was the last time you sponsored a coffee hour for parishioners after a church service? How many businesses or how many business networking groups does the sales staff belong to? Coming out of the pandemic, we may need to change the message and or the way we deliver it a bit, but that can all be used to our advantage. Right now, many groups are meeting online for the first time, and you can be a part of that. These groups are moving online, making announcements and presentations online, and they are actively looking for more virtual content to keep their members engaged. What content can you offer them? Is your community library taking its lecture series online? Create one. Create an online pre-planning program that can be shown online. As time goes on, we will be gathering together again in some way, shape, or form. Do you have new rules and procedures that need to be announced to the public? What better place than in front of a church congregation that almost assuredly experienced a loss during this difficult time? Why not place updated rules and even some pre-planning literature inside their church bulletin when the time comes? Be the force, be the expert. Cemeteries need to position their sales staff as community experts on death care, and now is a great time to do it. 4 easy, low-cost tips to generate leads. This is not to say, however, that no work needs to be done. Your results will be directly proportional to the effort you put in. For example, properly train the grounds crew and front office staff. It's going to take time. Supply them with the constant training and coaching they need. Even offer a $10 Dunkin' Donuts gift card to whoever captures the most names in a given week or month. Train your staff on how to put together and present the at-need kit. Pre-make portions of the kit and measure their movement against at-need sales to make sure they are being properly distributed. As the program takes off, start using more professional materials like custom printed folders, higher quality cards, grief-specific care notes. Keep the brochure posts stocked and moving. Keep track of how many brochures are being moved. Fix or replace those posts that get damaged or are looking weathered. Get out into the community. Track down what professional groups are in your area, as some independent groups might be flying under your radar. Reach out to every community organization that might be able to spread your message on pre-planning. It takes work, but it's well worth it. Our cemetery culture will move forward and even thrive after this pandemic, but it is up to us to make sure that happens. We have the awesome responsibility of guarding the public's dear departed loved ones and their memories. With some effort and work, we can assure that will happen and maintain their trust in our sacred institutions. I want to thank you for listening to this presentation. Once again, my name is Rob Baker with Matthews International. Have a great day.